I need Shannon Chakraborty to write the second fucking Amina book so that I can get more of her writing. Hello everyone, my name is Shannon, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another vlog. Welcome to another series vlog, my friends. This, I do believe, is number 4. So far in this series, we have read the Poppy War trilogy by R.F. Kuang. We have also read the Great Cities duology by N.K. Jemisin. We have also read, most recently, the Red Rising original trilogy by Pierce Brown. And so, if you're new here, hi, hello, this is what this is all about. So this year, I have been on a journey of finishing series that I've actually started because I have a bad habit of just starting series, reading the first book of a series and never actually continuing with it and just leaving that completely unread. I ended up diving into a Cawpile spreadsheet. If you don't know what Cawpile is, it's C-A-W-P-I-L-E, set up by G from Book Roast, an amazing creator on here. She does one every year, at least up until this point. She has done one, and this year's she ended up adding a series tracker to it. And when I filled that out, I was shooketh at the amount of series that I have started in my lifetime, and that are still ongoing because I rarely finish series. So with this series, the series, do not take a shot every time I say series. You will probably die because there's too many series in this video. I do apologize. The whole point of this is to make me actually read an entire series, get into the books better. But not just starting a series brand new. No. Out of the series that I have read one book from and that are actually out and completed series, I think there is about 37-ish, 38 on my list that are actually completed series that I can do this with. So what I do is I pick up book 1 that I have already previously read, I reread book 1, and then I go through the next however many in the series. As so far, we've been kind of sticking to duologies and trilogies, and that trend is continuing today because today we are diving in to the DAEVABAD trilogy. I'm excited about this one. I am. I have previously read The City of Brass, as I just explained, so we are going to reread The City of Brass and head into these next 2. Now, I have a fun history with The City of Brass, so let me explain it to you. So The City of Brass has been on my shelves for so many fucking years at this point. So many years. It's been one of those fantasy books that has haunted my existence. In 2020, I had set out to do a fun little video challenge. I think I was inspired by a video that I saw where someone kind of did like a scavenger hunt game to pick a TBR book, like pick a book off their TBR to then read and then do it as a reading vlog. I think I was gonna do something like that. I don't really remember, but I had filmed the game part of it, and I was filming the intro for this video to introduce The City of Brass because this was the book that I had picked, and I broke my hand filming that video. I messed up this 4th finger, as you can kind of tell because it's so low on my hand now. And so I wasn't able to pick this up for like a year and a bit because every time I tried to, it was tied to that connotation of breaking my hand, and it would make me feel so physically ill, so I just couldn't do it. But then when I finally did, I was happy that I did because I did enjoy it. It's not a favorite, and honestly, I don't remember a lot about it. So I think this will be fun. I actually put it up to a vote on my Instagram at one point, and I had put up much earlier this year. I intended to do a lot more of these series videos, so I do apologize, but it was a lot earlier this year on my Instagram. I had put up a poll between a whole bunch of different series that I could do this video with and what you guys wanted to see. And this series won overwhelmingly. If you want to see more of these videos, hit subscribe, like this video, hit the little bell icon, all that kind of stuff. I don't say that enough in my videos, I've realized, so I would really appreciate if you also subscribed and watch these videos all the way through because I love you guys. And also comment down below if you've read this at all. I am going to try and keep this video as spoiler-free as possible, which is just going to get harder and harder to do as we get into the meat of this series. But if I do include spoilers and if I need to rant about something, I will very clearly tell you, or there will be a little ding sound. I will give you an example. I will put a banner on the bottom that'll say spoilers very clearly. It'll be up until I stop talking about spoilers, so you can mute me until that banner goes away if you don't want to be spoiled for that specific book at that point, because I will always say like spoilers for City of Brass or spoilers for Kingdom of Copper, etc., etc. So anyways, that's the intro. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna go back into the world of DAEVABAD with Nari and Dara. And we're gonna see how this goes. Hello, friends. It is officially, I don't know how many days, I don't know when I started this video. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, doesn't matter. I just wanted to pop in with an update because I'm officially halfway through the City of Brass. I just talked to my weekend vlog about this book, and I'm gonna reiterate some of the things I brought up in that update, because this book, the first time that I read it, I hated Alizade, the characters that we have. So we have Alizade, Nari, and Dara. And Alizade and Nari are our two main like POVs in this book. So Nari is our main character. She is this con woman who's living on the streets of Cairo, and she has a real rare ability, an anomalous ability to heal herself and also others. And accidentally one day she summons Dara, who is a mysterious Jinn warrior who is also known as the Scourge. The Scourge, if you will. He is an interesting human being. They have to flee because they're being chased by Ifrit and some other beings that want to take Nari for her powers. And Dara is like, well, the only safe place I can take you is DAEVABAD. So I'm gonna take you to DAEVABAD. And in DAEVABAD, we have Alizade. He is the son of a king. He's... I hate Alizade.
Honey,
so much.
you've got a big storm coming.
It's the funniest thing because I follow this person on Instagram. I can't remember who it is, but I remember watching her go through a read of this trilogy and how vehemently she was in love with Alizade. She just loved his character, loved him so much. And I was just like, how and why? This man is a racist, religious fanatic, and I hate his guts. He's just this royal little pompous dick. He's not even that pompous. He just doesn't know better. I guess he needs to learn. That's what I'm really hoping, is that he learns and has an incredible character arc and stops being so racist and awful. Because like the stuff that comes out of his mouth and the stuff that he thinks that are like, that is in his narration, in his brain, he's the worst. Like, he genuinely thinks devas are beneath him. There's even a statement in here where it was like the correct religion, the correct beliefs. And I had to sit back for a second and I was like, oh, okay, so this is the book that I'm reading. Like, I'm having such a vicious reaction to this book due to the state of the world right now, because the ideologies brought up in this, the oppressive nature of those in charge, is very reminiscent of the world that we live in today and the situation in Gaza right now. So, and not just Gaza, I should just say in Palestine, because it's Gaza, it's the West Bank, it's yeah. So, so we have Alizade, who is awful. I don't understand how anyone could like him. So hopefully this video has a great character arc. I guess, hopefully. God, I don't even know if I want him to have a character arc. I just want him to become less insufferable to read from, because I hate his POV so much. I hate getting to his POV. And that was something that I also had when I originally read this book for the first time. I just really didn't like Ali. And then we have Dara, on the other hand. And Dara Yavanoush is, I said his name so wrong, but the Scourge. And when I first read this book, I was like, yeah, we love Dara. Dara's great. And now that I'm reading it, I hate him too, because he's also garbage. This book is making me physically livid, because it's just bringing up the emotions that I'm feeling already, like in every day, because every time I can't get away from the feelings of the absolute terror that is going on in Gaza right now. So watching in here, both sides just have the most awful, racist, detrimental, just awful beliefs. And like seeing Dara have opinions and of just utmost terribleness of the way he treats others, that he thinks are beneath him. It's ingrained in him, because he's literally been alive for 1400 years and he still thinks this way. And he is just awful. Like, and even like Nari is like, Dara, chill the fuck out. Like, you don't have to be so vehemently mean to these people. And he's just like, he just rolls his eyes at her. And I'm just like, my God, I hope he also gets better at some point, because he's awful to read. We don't even have to read from his POV in this book, but like, yo, he's bad. I hate him. Nari is great. I like Nari. Nari's good. But she doesn't feel like a fully fledged character right now. She's just there. She's just having stuff happen to her So even though she is trying to actively get out of the situation, so she is an active character. I won't give her like an inactive character state. She just can't because, you know, her life's on the line and this guy just kind of took her. You know, Dara just kind of took her and was like, I'm gonna get you to safety. So yeah, it's interesting to be reading this right now because this is based off of Egyptian folklore and mythology, Egyptian life, because this was set a little bit in Cairo as well. So it's very close to the conflict in Gaza. Conflict. It's not a conflict, it's a fucking genocide. So there's a lot of that in here too. It's really interesting to be reading this book and seeing in here just the oppressive nature of this royal world of DAEVABAD, seeing the jinn on the throne and the like sectors of the city and just the you know, the oppressive nature of when the oppressor is in charge, you know? I sound so negative about this, and there's a lot of negative things that I'm feeling about this book right now, but I am really enjoying the reread. If I can turn off my brain and just enjoy the fantasy of it, if I could, I can't. If I could just turn off my brain and enjoy the fantasy of it, this would be absolutely amazing, because it's a really, really good book. But I can't turn off my brain, and you know what? That's okay, and that's good that I can't turn off my brain. We literally read, like you pick up a book, you pick up a fantasy book, and you're gonna tell me that reading is not political? I'm halfway through City of Brass. And I'm having existential crises over it. Well, the fact that this is literally set in the Ottoman Empire too is, there's gotta be something to say about that, but I don't have the brain. I didn't like history in school. I even took a history course in university that covered a little bit of the Ottoman Empire. Do I remember anything about it? No. But 18th century Cairo, the Ottoman Empire, that's when this was set. So, you know, another time of strife. Like, when is the world ever not without strife? Like, I think one of the things, this is, again, another diatribe. I think one of the things that I've learned getting older in my life, not like past university age, one thing that I noticed in university is that being in classes like sociology and English and history and all these different courses, especially with courses that were focusing on literature that was very prescient, like the Indigenous Lit courses, the Canadian Lit courses that I was in, etc. The things that I was learning and the people that I was coming into contact with were just opening my brain, you know, which is great because I was ignorant as fuck in high school, and I still am quite ignorant in a lot of issues in the world. The issue with Palestine, numero uno, because I've grown up in Canada and I am white, and even when I brought up the occupation the other day to my parents, my mom rolled her eyes. She was like, occupation? What? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. As I'm getting older, even past university, and seeing and being in of the age of TikTok and seeing how vocal and connected we all are in the world, I am so thankful that I live in this time because I have learned so much. I have seen the way that I have been raised and the society that I have been raised in is so wrong in so many ways, you know? So I just hope that as a community, especially the bookish community, when we read fantasy books like this, literally any fantasy book ever, that we, not even just fantasy, sci-fi, friggin' contemporary, friggin' historical, you name it, literally any book, the inherent politics of these books matter. And it's a direct reflection of the world that we live in. So why don't we care more about what's happening in the world? You know, I don't know where that diatribe just went, but the point I'm trying to make is that as I get older, the more I am learning, and I am so glad that I am learning, and I am so glad that I'm part of this community in this time. I'm so glad that I am part of this time that we are living in the digital age, the most connected we have ever been, ever, and probably ever will be. What does this have to do with this? Absolutely nothing. But I just needed to go on a little diatribe because that's what's on my mind right now reading this book. So, you know, it all matters. It all matters. It all matters. It is 2 a.m. I am in a mood that I need to sleep off. But I'm gonna keep reading this tomorrow. and I'll let you know how I feel when I finish it. But this is how I feel now. I am enjoying reading it. I will say the actual story of this is quite good so far. I did enjoy it the first time I read it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. It's probably gonna get probably the same rating this time around because it's not like anything like incredible or wonderful. But I'm excited to get into the sequel. So I will let you know what I think of the City of Brass when I'm done, and then on to Kingdom of Copper. Hello friends, editing Jenna popping in here. Realized I lost the clip where I talked about the ending of City of Brass and the reread as a whole. It's been a little while since I read that book, but from what I remember, the reread went very well. I did really enjoy it. It ended up being about a 4-star, same as the first time that I read it. I did forget a lot about what happened at the end of it until I was in it again. It was very stressful, as is apt for fantasy books. And I was definitely very intrigued to dive right into the sequel, and I believe I did within like a couple days. So very happy about that. But yes, I don't know why. I have a knack for losing footage for stuff. But on to Kingdom of Copper. Hello friends. It is now a number of days later. Hello. And I am officially over the halfway mark in Kingdom of Copper. What do I have to say? I had very few thoughts throughout this, other than just like kind of genuinely liking the vibes, liking the experience as one does, until recently. Oh, people are awful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maniza. Homegirl? Terrifying. Don't like her at all. Ooh, that's spooky, scary stuff she's dealing with. Oh my god. Anyways, so this is a continuation, obviously, of the first book. We actually start in an interesting little like prologue to kind of set up where each of our characters are from the end of the previous book. So we see Alizaid going off supposedly to Amgazira. We see him being attacked by assassins and then being rescued by 2 people who kind of see him for what his new abilities are. And that kind of sets him up as this, like, maybe he has a future in this place that he's in because he might be able to help them with the water situation because he's obviously got some shit going on with the Manid or the Marid in that changed him a little bit in book 1. And then we see Nari, of course, married to Muntadir, and we get like a little brief recap from someone else about her breakdown after Dara's, okay, spoilers for book 1. We see her breakdown after Dara's death, quote unquote death, and her lapse of sanity a little bit, which is interesting. And then we see her like married and all that kind of stuff. And then we see Dara come back to life as something, what they call a true Deva, but to him is an absolute monster. And he just wants peace. He just wants to stop. He just wants to be with his sister and his family in the promised land in paradise, dead. Like, he just wants to be done with this world, but he keeps getting called back and risen from the dead. And this time Banu Manaiza did that. Nari's mom. Banu Manaiza, what a lady. And then we're now 5 years later. So this book has like that little prologue to kind of set us up as to where our characters are. And then the 5 years later is when the story starts. So it's been 5 years since Nari is married to Muntadir. She's now more of a master of her craft in healing. She is also a prisoner in the castle. There's literally no other way to say it. She is not allowed to go anywhere. The king has her under very strict rules, and she feels like she's not even like living, obviously, because like how do you live in a place where you're surrounded by people who are your controllers, right? You like don't have any friends or anything. And then we have Ali, who has just breathed new life and saved this town that he's in. And then we have Dara, who is getting used to his magic form type situation, and also is with Banu Manaiza gathering soldiers and training them and planning to break into DAEVABAD. So they're planning a coup, if you will. That's where that sets us at the beginning of Kingdom of Copper. Oh boy, there's a lot of shit going on in this book, my friends. So far, we've got political machinations, we've got really interesting marital stuff with Muntadir and Nari, because like that was a complete like against their will on both sides marriage. Muntadir hates her. In his mind, he is a jinn through and through, and she is a deva, which is the enemy, you know, in his mind. So it's a very interesting political marriage. There is so much happening in this book. very subtle like political maneuverings. Also got to meet Ali Zaid and Zainab's mom, and she's pretty fun. I like her so far. She seems like she's got something up her sleeve at all times. S.A. Chakraborty's writing is wonderful. Like, I'm so entranced in the story. I have read a few books between City of Brass and this one, and I can like confidently say, other than Gideon the Ninth, which was a reread and it is my favorite book of all time, these have been the best so far. Like, out of all of them, these have just knocked the other ones out of the park with enjoyment, with beautiful prose and incredible storytelling that just grabs you in and leaves you so interested. Like, this is how you write a damn book. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I can see where people are talking about S.A. Chakraborty knowing what's up. Like, she's great. She's awesome. I'm loving the vibes of this world for sure, Z's. But I'm not being like blown away at any moments. I mean, the only place that I was really like, ooh, was this spread here. Because it was just a lot of holy shit, because this was when Manaiza made her plans known to Dara, and Dara is like, please don't. And if the Scourge of Kwaizi is telling you please don't, you should know that you're doing something very, very wrong. I think with Ali Zaid and Nari's POVs, we are definitely seeing the internal politics of DAEVABAD and the very central issues in the world in relation to politics and humanity, and seeing people as equals or very much not equals. And then there's also like a underlying slave trade that's being brought up by a cousin of Muntadir, and like is being like, oh, they're not slaves, they are willing people looking for work. Ali Zaid is like, I literally witnessed you selling a little girl who was screaming for her dad. Like, this is like, you can't lie to me. So it's like, you know, these little moments of the internal conflict between the Jinn, the Shafit, and the Deva. So it's like, no one likes anybody at this point. No one in the city likes any other person, you know? I'm struggling with my hair right now. I got it done today, and I miss my curls, my proper curls, because what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You know? I don't know. I literally can't pin it back either because I don't have any pins near me. Anyways, sorry for that diversion. But yeah, like with those two, we're getting definitely a very integral look at the religious beliefs and the societal beliefs and the interhumanity beliefs. It's wild to be reading those two POVs because we have Nari and Ali who are very, like, they're both, like, one of them's a Deva, one of them's a Jinn, right? And one of them is a Deva, Nari, who's raised among humans. So she is definitely more connected with the Shafit than anything, who are the Deva-human combinations, if you will. They are the mixed bloods. And then we have Ali Zaid, who is a Jinn. We have like his royal, and he's a very like religious fanatic, as I explained earlier. Like, I really genuinely don't like him. That still hasn't changed. I am enjoying his character though, more in this book, because I think he's grown a little bit in the 5 years, which is all I can ask for. His heart is kind of in the right place. He goes at things a little bad. He's a royal and he doesn't know better, but I feel like he's gonna be the one with like the biggest learning curve throughout all of this. Like, he genuinely cares about the Shafites and he just wants like a good world for them all. That's an interesting POV to be in. And then having Nari there, who obviously prisoner, she's being used by the king, she is being forced to do these healing things, but she genuinely wants to help her people and all this kind of stuff. And then also being married to Muntadir, who is the elder son who's going to become king, right? Like, he is going to be the ruler after his father. Like, you can definitely see the interconnections and shit. It's just, there's so much going on. This is why I love fantasy so much. There's so much happening. Oh my god, so much happening with this. Like, then with Dara on the outside, this is where you get the genuine, like, just the war of it all. To him, it has been a never-ending war. This man has been imprisoned for 1400 years. He doesn't remember a lot of it. He only remembers, like, the before, and he remembers the being freed. And he does remember a couple things that he did, and he knows genuinely like he was a very terrible person. He is genuinely like filled with prejudices, and like he's not a great person either, but he says something on page 274. Well, he doesn't really say, he thinks, he says, this war is never going to end. And then on 275, he says, and the narration says, and now here he was again with his weapons and his cause. Like all he wants is just to be done. He just doesn't want to be here anymore. He's so done, which is so valid. Homeboy has been in so many wars. He's destroyed so many people, and he was used as a tool, as a weapon, as a tool for the Nahid to just dole out incredible violence. And he just genuinely doesn't want to do that again. Honestly, this book, I don't like Dara and I don't like Ali. I genuinely would not want to be anywhere near them if they were real. Just hard pass, you know? Nari, I would want to become friends with because she seems awesome and badass and so fucking smart. I genuinely would be like, we'd have a great conversation. This book is making me feel so sorry for both. Not necessarily Ali Zaid because he's rich and he can kind of get away with shit, but definitely for Dara, though he has been freed and has become a true Deva and has been like released of not only his enslavement, he's still being used as a tool. He can't get away from it. And it's just, this quote on 324 says, his soul was heavy as iron. And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, the brilliantness, like the brilliance, the image just the feeling, the heartache. Oh my God. And the idea that Banu Manaiza has this big old plan that is in her plan, I'm stressed. Oh, it's gonna go so bad. And yet there's another book after this. So like, what the fuck's gonna happen in this book? Yeah. These books are good. These books are great. If you can tell, I'm very much enjoying them. And I'm in a much better mood than the last clip because I'm not as enraged. I'm more just sickened because the way that these books are just reflecting a lot of reality is unreal. You know, I honestly don't know if I would have had the same reaction if I had read this a couple months ago before I was opened up to the realities of the ongoing occupation in Palestine. Like, if I had gone into this series a lot earlier before the genocide was going on, I don't think I would have been as angry. And I don't think I would have been as like, oh wow, like how insane or whatever. I probably would have just been talking about it in a more fantastical experience, but because we're living through that now and we're seeing all this, you know, propaganda and both sides and just this, well, you know, you're living through it too. So like seeing all that and then reading about it, you're like, wow, the way that reading I have these feelings and I don't know how to put my words to them to like describe them to you guys because I just don't know how to get it out of my brain sometimes. And like I have words and I want to say them and I just don't know what the words are, you know? Reading books like this in a time where our world is living through so many people being on the side of the oppressor, unreal. And like learning things that I should have been taught as a kid, unreal. And then reading it in a fiction setting and seeing how real it is, even in a fantasy book, is a little unreal and unsettling. Anyways, I'm currently on page 352. I have this much left to go, and I am currently doing a 24-hour timer-led readathon. It is just about 1, so I think I'm gonna be done for today. I've got like only 40 minutes of reading in today, but like at least we've started. At least we've started for that. But next time you see me, I will have better hair than whatever this mess is. I will update you when I'm done Kingdom of Copper. Y'all. I'm so fucking stressed out right now. This fucking book. Everything is happening. I lost my page. Oh my God. I have been stressed for the past like 150 pages. I am on page 513. Just knowing what has been planned to happen in this book, I'm so fucking stressed out. I'm so fucking stressed out and shit's just hitting the fan and I'm just like, this book is so fucking good, but I'm so fucking stressed.
A few moments later.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it just kept getting worse. Not like bad. This book, fucking amazing. Like, the stress just kept getting worse. And the reasons for the stress kept getting worse. So much shit was happening. So much shit was going wrong. The fuck was that ending? Genuinely just, what the fuck? Genuinely? What the fuck? Oh my god, literally, I just flipped to page 404 and there's this moment where I was like fully stressing out because I knew what was coming. I knew like the plans that Dara and Banu Manaiza had in place, or just Banu Manaiza pretty much, but like Dara was her weapon, right? I knew the plans they had in place and we were just slowly ticking toward this. And it's this like really sweet, soft, like opening of the hospital. And like, yeah, there's lots of political tensions happening right now and like a potential idea of a coup between brothers. Like it's so much is happening. And then there's this moment where he's like, Ali Zaid sees two women sitting in a swing deep in the shade of a lime tree. Ali touched his brow in greeting as he passed, but neither woman appeared to notice him. Razu was tucking one of the tree's silky white flowers behind Elashia's ear, the ever-silent Saharan woman giving her a small smile. It must be nice to have such a close friendship, he thought reflectively. And they were roommates! Oh my god, that was page 400, and not even 200 pages later, it's fucking chaos. Like, the way this book was perfectly plotted. Up until the halfway mark, like, there wasn't really anything, like, super intense going on, but we were, like, moving forward. We definitely had the political issues. We had the hospital being built. We had Dara training his people outside of, you know, DAEVABAD, and, like, the threat of that looming in the distance, and we had all this like end moment of the Navasatam big ass party that they were going to attack at. So it was like, so we knew what was coming and we knew everything was like approaching it and coming closer to it, and then we hit the halfway mark and it's fucking bananas. Like it just slowly starts getting more and more stressful. Like S.A. Chakraborty knows how to write a fucking book. This was so good. And this was such a step up from The City of Brass. Holy fuck. If you guys have read The City of Brass and are very like middling on it, continue with The Kingdom of Copper because you're gonna fucking lose your shit. I don't have any like proper cohesive thoughts right now. I am just emotions. This book was so fucking good. What the fuck is gonna happen next in this chunk? I don't even know how many pages is this. How many pages is this? Holy shit, fuck. It's like 700 pages. What's gonna happen in 700 pages? Wow. I'm on page 496 of Empire of Gold. Do I like Ali Zaid now? Shit. Guys. Oh my god. Has that little motherfucker grown on me? Has he grown on me over the last few books? Oh no. Oh no. Anyways, I am way over halfway. I have this much left to go. Oh my god, there's something about S.A. Chakraborty's writing that just sucks you in. Like, the only thing I can compare this to of like, not like writing style at all, but in the way that it just sucks you in. It's been a really long time since I've read a story that does it so easily as S.A. Chakraborty's writing does. And the only other thing I can compare it to is like a Cassandra Clare book. Because there's something that Cassandra Clare knows and does with her writing that just hits. And it makes these massive fucking books so easy to read because you just can't put them down and they just flow so easily. Maybe it's also like a font choice, because that's one thing that I open up these books and I think about every time I look at them. The font is different than in other books, because I know like every book has like a different font or whatever, but like the font in here is different. It makes it easier on my eyes to get through, and I don't want to stop reading. It is 12:20 in the morning. I am ill. I should be sleeping because I have work tomorrow because it's Sunday night. I can't put this down. Oh my god. Everybody needs to read a Shannon Chakraborty. Like, I am so convinced that my friends who don't like fantasy will like this book. Like, Sophia, if you are watching this, you are going to lap up this series. Just trust me, okay? Yes, it's high fantasy. No, it's not like super smutty like Furyborn was, and I know you loved Furyborn, and it is nothing like Gideon the Ninth, but like it is so compulsively readable. I think you will adore these books, And I think you're gonna love DAEVABAD, and I will forgive you for it. You gotta read these books, babe. That's me to Sophia. And Yeleni. If Yeleni watches this, you're gonna love these too. If whenever you're in the mood for a fantasy, like, pick these up. They're so good. They're based in Egyptian mythology. They have such interesting political shit. Oh my god, but like the relationships of these books are what make it. And I think I like Ali Zaid now. I think he's grown enough on me. It only took 3 books in 6 years. Is that the timeline of these fucking books? Oh my god. Spoilers coming, because I need to tell you guys about this fucking banger line that S.A. Chakraborty wrote, okay? And that Nari said to Ali Zaid, okay? You and I are not the worst of our ancestors. They don't own us. They don't own our heritage. Manaiza uses Nahid magic to kill. I use it to heal. Just because Sobek has used magic for evil doesn't mean that's what it is when you use it. Iconic. And then literally on the next page, they're kissing. Queen of a slow burn, S.A. Chakraborty. And queen of a respectful man. I think that's why Ali Zaid has grown on me so much, because he's just a respectful man. Even though he was a religious dick at the beginning of these books, I think this book is when he becomes an actual, like, respectful human being. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. I'm gonna have to sleep at some point. We've just hit a really exciting part and I don't want to stop. But I know if I don't let myself stop, we're gonna get into an even more exciting part. And then I'm like for sure gonna just be up till 4 a.m. to finish this book. And I just can't do that to myself. From me to you, future Jenna, this is for you. Stopping on page 496, okay? I know you hate me right now. I hate me right now. But it's time to go to bed. I need Shannon Chakraborty to write the second fucking Amina book so that I could get more of her writing. I cannot believe my journey with S.A. Chakraborty started with me trying to read this book, breaking my hand, and not being able to read her book for months and months and months and months after, because it was just so tainted by the fact that I broke my hand. And then when I did read it all the way through, I was like, that was pretty okay. And then I just never continued because I would have been so obsessed with this in 2020. I would have made it my entire personality. Oh no. But that's fine, because now you and me, we're here, my lovely friends. We are here and we are getting through this tome. Oh my god, I should have started reading this earlier today. All day today, because I'm ill. I have a head cold. And it's pissing me off because all day today, well, during the day I had like an oil change and stuff, but like when I got home from it, I just kept feeling progressively worse and I just couldn't focus on anything. Like I kept like shifting from craft to craft to craft because I'm in my crafty season because it's Christmas and I'm making stuff for people. But I couldn't focus on one thing. So I kept like shifting from craft to craft. I worked a little bit on my embroidery. I worked on my sweater for a bit. I worked on my friend's sweater that I'm working on, or sweater best. I just couldn't bring myself to pick up this book and read it, and I'm so mad that it took me until like whatever the fuck 9:30, 10 p.m. that I actually decided to pick it up, because I could be enjoying the end of this book right now. I see what everybody means by that. Each of these books get better with every book. Like, I'm gonna need to reread Amina Al-Sarafi after this, just so that I can get more. Oh my god, there's novellas. There's novellas in this world. I'm gonna have to get them. I'm gonna have to listen to them at least. Because, you know, book buying ban. But like, I gotta get my hands on that. I gotta. What a book series. And with that, my friends, look at this absolute mess I am. I even got up to blow my nose, but it sounds like I have a cold, which I do. I'm coming off of the end of a cold, but like, oh my god. Done. I finished it. What an ending. Oh my god. I have no words. Oh my god. The only words I have are, S.A. Chakraborty, you better be fucking writing Zainab's books now. I want her adventures. And I gotta check out the fucking, like, short story novella thing that she's written, because I need to know more about this world. I need to know that Nari stays happy. That's all I need to know. Also, S.A. Chakraborty, queen of slow burns, because she didn't even fucking give us a resolution to the slow burn at the end of this. I think that's the only thing I would have changed. I think I would have changed the epilogue to include more of what we got. You know, if you've read the books, you know. I will say, all right, spoilers, friends. If you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch this. Skip until the bar is gone at the bottom, or mute me until it's gone. But I have never cried so hard over a monster as I have with DAEVABAD. The arc that man went on, the way he was broken to nothing and was brought to his knees and put back in the state that scared him so much, put back into slavery at the hands of the woman of a family that he swore to protect and serve, who ruined his life the first time. What a like, that literally nothing worse could have happened to this man. Like, literally nothing worse could have happened to this man. And at the end, Nari gave him the choice. I was screaming. I was like, Dara, why did you choose to do the thing? Why didn't you choose to go and be with your sister? Because that's what you wanted this whole time. Why didn't you choose to be at peace? And he just didn't think he deserved it, and my entire soul is ripped apart. But I see why he did it, and I also see why that he can never be back in DAEVABAD. He is too contentious of a figure. Like, he did so much, he wreaked so much pain across DAEVABAD. I think his new start in life was a very smart one on his part. I love that S.A. Chakraborty left the end of this book with a few things that were open, like Dara's quest at the end of this, and also Zainab's potential story at the end of this. I want to see a book with her, please. I want to see a sapphic story with her, please. Give us Zainab and Akisa. Give us, please. I want to see it. I want to see it, S.A. Chakraborty. Oh, but like, what a genuinely lovely ending to this book. Like, it was so big and climactic, and it's a moment, and then she gave us peace at the end of it and a promise of hope, which, oh my Christ, is what you need after this whole trilogy of fucking strife. I've also convinced my friend Yeleni to read these books now, although she did just message me because I sent her a picture of me crying, and she's screaming. She's like, I don't want to cry. So I gotta go and assuage her tears. But I think I'm gonna come back once I've wrapped up my thoughts a little bit more and clean myself up a little bit more to finish out this vlog. But what a win. All right, my friends, I've calmed down. I am still so pleased. Oh gosh, golly gee, I love coming to the end of a book and absolutely just like letting out a sigh of contentment. And that is what the Empire of Gold gave me. It was so fucking, don't take us the wrong way, okay? These books are so goddamn intense, okay? They don't pull any punches. Shit's brutal as fuck, okay? These are adult fantasy books filled with everything. Very dark, very intense, very politically driven, very like relationship driven, and there's so many twists and turns, and like a brutal, intense villain who like genuinely makes so much sense as to why she's a villain and is such a perfect villain. You know, when a villain gets their comeuppance, but right before they do, it's not even really getting a comeuppance, but just like genuinely believes they're doing the right thing and genuinely will go to the ends of the earth to do it. And in their story, they are the hero, and their reasonings honestly make a lot of sense. Very realistic, very, well, besides, you know, the jinns and the devas and the blood magic and the, you know, the fact that she is thousands of years old and can heal people, but, you know, and, you know, kill people from a distance. It's all good things. But like genuinely, like all she wants is to see her people thrive and her family to live again without being under an oppressor. And like, you know what? So valid, babe. So valid, but also you're going at it in a really toxic way. Oh, and then the way that like her ending, oh, it was very good. Oh, it was so fucking good. Oh my God. I am not gonna get over this book. Like, genuinely, I am on a high right now because I've just finished a fucking fantastic book, an almost 800-page fantasy novel that genuinely is one of the best conclusions to a series that I have read in a very long time. It's been so long since I've read a conclusion of a story where I've sobbed for like an hour into the ending, because I do that with my books. I cry over everything. Hello, if you've been here long enough, you know I cry over everything. But the fact that I could do that and genuinely have my like heart ripped to shreds in multiple places and then put back together and then just like start crying over how wonderful and happy it is, and then to end the book feeling a sense of peace. Show me another book that could do that, because I don't know. I honestly don't know if there's one out there. Well, honestly, that might be because I'm doing this freaking series. The series. Good Lord. Because I don't finish book series very often because I'm genuinely so terrified of endings, because I know that a lot of authors don't pull punches. And you know what? Upon some like real like thinking back, when I was a kid, I used to gobble up series all the time because I had no fear in my heart. And then I read The Hunger Games. I can't remember which one I read first, The Hunger Games or Divergent. I feel like it was The Hunger Games first in high school. And I remember getting to the third book and genuinely hating it back then. I don't know if you guys have seen my Hunger Games vlog that I did. I think it was last year or the year before. During the pandemic at some point. Where I finally read Mockingjay in its entirety. And I still don't love the last book of that series, but I see what Suzanne Collins was doing. But it was Allegiant, which is the ending to Divergent, that honestly ruined me for a lot of series. And it only really hit me recently that was my starting spot, where one, it was the very first book where the author fully betrayed me. I remember raging after that to my friends, to people to literally anyone who would listen, about the fact that an author cannot kill a main character. That is genuinely like the greatest transgression of an author. I was raging on about it. I hadn't met George R.R. Martin at the time. Honestly, since then, I'm like, I don't trust a lot of authors because I know that they can do that. They can kill their main character very easily. And it's not a transgression. It's just quite simply something that they can do to rip your damn heart out. And I think what that did to me as a reader, as a very young reader, I remember very clearly sitting in my aunt's basement over Christmas, just bawling my eyes out on my aunt's like pull-out couch with the rest of my family upstairs, like celebrating Christmas or some shit. Like, I remember it so clearly, being so betrayed by that ending of that book, because it was so rude. It was just so rude. You guys know if you've read Allegiant. Oh my God. And since then, I've had such a hard time finishing series, because I honestly think like it's like a little bit of retrospect in me, but like I'm terrified that authors are going to do that to me again. And I don't want that to happen. And I genuinely like, I don't like being done in a world. Like, I don't like finishing a series and not having any other books to look forward to in a series. It's just something that I've always been like. I'm like that with TV shows too. Like, I just genuinely don't like finishing TV shows. Like, my favorite TV show of all time, New Girl. I have never seen the last season. Keep rewatching the beginning seasons, which are my favorite, and I never seen the last season. It took me like 8 rewatches of Friends to watch the 10th season all the way through. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like finishing things. I always like the idea that there is something more to come back to, that the characters that I love are still there and are still okay. So, you know what? Maybe it all stems from Allegiant. Veronica Roth out here ruining my reading life back when I was like 13 years old, or however old I was when I was reading that book. I am genuinely so happy. This is a long diatribe. I'm so happy that I'm doing this series, because I'm actually realizing how wonderful completing a series can be. Genuinely getting the whole story that the author is setting out to tell, and living through the whole trilogy with the characters or duology or whatever they write that I have fallen so deeply in love with, and getting to come to the end of it and just being like, wow, this is one of my new favorite trilogies of all time, you know? So this is my advice to you, dear friend. If you are like me at all and you start so many series and never continue them with the full intention of continuing them because you really enjoyed book 1, not those series out there that you're like, I don't know if I'll ever continue this. This was like fine. Not those. The ones that you really enjoy book 1 and keep going. Keep going. It's worth it. Oh my God, is it worth it? Because then you get to feel this sense of like rightness. Maybe it's just this trilogy, because honestly, I haven't had that rightness with finishing a series in this video series yet. I'm trying to think back. Like, I don't think I felt this rightness yet. This, oh wow, I'm done. Maybe it's because the first one that I did wasn't even in this video series, it was just on my own, and it was rereading the 5th season. That genuinely is my favorite trilogy of all time. It's absolute mastercraft. I don't think I felt like sad, like I didn't feel like peace at the end of it. I was just genuinely it was just so fucking good. Like I can't remember a feeling of peace at the end of it. The Poppy War was such a disappointment because book 3 was terrible. It was a mess and it didn't give me satisfaction at all. The Farseer trilogy also didn't really, like, it gave me a really lovely closure, but I knew at the end of that it wasn't the end for Fitz's story because I know the entire realm of the Elderlings is there. Anyways, this is a really long diatribe to say that I fucking loved this. I had such a great time reading these, and I am so glad that you guys voted for me on Instagram to do this way back in the summer. That's the next series. S.A. Chakraborty, new auto-buy author. I adore her so much. We started with a 4-star with City of Brass. Iconic reread, we loved it. Kingdom of Copper, 4.5 stars. And I don't even have to run this through Cop-Out to tell you this is a 5-star book. One of the top books of this year. Iconic, incredible, amazing. Please read this trilogy, my friends. Please read The City of Brass. Please do it, because you are going to be doing yourself a favor and having the best time with such fun, diverse, really interesting characters with such interesting character growth. I haven't even told you my opinion on Dara and Alizade at the end of this. So, the opinion on Dara and Alizade in City of Brass, hated them both. The opinion on Dara and Alizade in Kingdom of Copper, wow, you know what? Alizade is a little different. He's not terrible, but like, I don't love him. Dara, monster. The opinion of Dara and Alizade in Empire of Gold. Holy shit, how can S.A. Chakraborty make me feel this way about a man who is a monster and who is just so broken on the inside? And also, I love Alizade now. He is just baby boy. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I know my opinions at the beginning of this video. I was like, I could never like Alizade. I don't know how I could ever like him. I like him, okay? It's fine. I just didn't like the religious fanatic of him in here. By the time we get to the end of here, he's pretty good. I like him. I like him. I like him a lot. That's for you, Julie. I know you're watching. I know you were excited to hear my thoughts. For you. My opinion on Alizade has changed. Anyways, friends, it is now 1:45 in the morning. I feel like I'm riding on a high. I need to chill for a bit and go to bed. Take some cold medicine because I still can't breathe out of one side of my face and it's driving me bananas. But my lovely friends, thank you for joining me on this journey for yet another series video. What a genuinely lovely ride. Oh my god, this was so fucking good. Stay tuned because I do have plans to do another one of these this month. I hope I'm gonna get to She Who Became the Sun, that duology. Gonna reread the first one and finish up the second one, He Who Drowned the World. And then after that, Found Your Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. If you want to see more of these videos, I have a couple on my channel. They're in the playlist called Series. The series. Happy reading, my friends. What a day. What a time to be alive. What a freaking series. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in another one very soon. I'm gonna just go fall asleep with these books in my arms. Stay kind and keep on reading.